by you. I'll be your everything, your blue sky. I go to war, fight. Damn right. Even when I've left.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Professional Step Dad Show. I am your host, Franco Zavala. Thank you guys very much for listening today, for watching on YouTube, for following along on our platforms, social media platforms, and for just really making my year as far as feedback that I've gotten about the show. So I'm always humbled and grateful to each and every one of you who are listening and who are watching and who are learning. And I'm always open for new suggestions. So if you do have a suggestion for a show, if you want me to talk about something specific, please feel free to email me right here, contact@theprofessionalstepdad.com. Chances of me making a show about it are pretty high. I love doing stuff like that. Today's episode is 143, guys. We are going to be talking about the value in teamwork. So if you've listened to the show, if you've followed along, you understand that I speak very specifically about working on yourself first, and then immediately shifting focus to you and your partner. And that is the teamwork that I'm referring to. There are probably, I don't know, I mean, there are countless amounts of relationships and or marriages that could be saved if stepdad and mom would take the time to really get to know one another, really get to spend those moments together where they can say, where they can lay everything out on the table, right? Like, here are my concerns. Here's what I'm expecting, and stepdad, here are my expectations. Here are my concerns. It's a safe place where there's no judgment. There's no fear of being ridiculed or thinking that you may cause an argument or any negative part to it. That's the key to the teamwork that I refer to. My wife and I, every year, at the end of every year, what we do is we take 24 hours. We call it we're calling it a couples retreat, right? But there's not any other couples, it's just us. And what we do is we sit down and we both bring our notebooks and we map out and plan goals that we have for ourselves, what we want to accomplish, whether it's spiritually, financially, our health, our wealth, what we want in the relationship, what we want to be as parents. And then what we do is we kind of share those with each other. And there's not a lot of feedback from that point, right? But just we share them. This is what I'm thinking. Then what we do is we get out the Post-it, big Post-it boards that you can get from Walgreens or like Staples, and we map out things that we want to do together as a team. What do we want our family to look like? What do we want our relationship to look like? What do we want? What kind of goals do we want to set for each other and for ourselves so that we can hold each other accountable for? It's very important that you have an accountability partner, and there's no better partner than your partner. That's better partner. Yeah, that's right. So when you have somebody that can hold you accountable, and then you do a check-in, we like to do a check-in, every few months where we'll go, okay, where are you at with your goals? Anything I can do to help? Anything I can do to support you? You need to sit down and talk about it. Maybe you need to change your way of thinking and take another course. There's a lot of little things that can happen, but this day away really is focused on building the relationship to a point where you are an unstoppable team. You are an unstoppable force when it comes to other couples or family members looking at your relationships and them looking at you and going, holy shit, they are firing on all cylinders. They have each other's back. They are communicating, and the way that they're raising the children, it's working. Because when you show the kids that you both are on the same team, that it's not a 60-40, 70-30, 80-20 split. When you're on the same team, especially within your home when it comes to parenting, the kids can see that there's not a lot of manipulation that they can do to you and or mom that will work out in their favor, because you and your partner decided to sit down and not only map out your year and map out your relationship, but you guys decided that, hey, we're going to take care of everything that happens in this house, good, bad, right, or wrong, together. that is such a defining moment in any blended family relationship, because it sets a standard for the home that the kids can actually model later in their life when they get older. So when you're thinking about building your team, when you're thinking about establishing or even just creating goals for one another for the year or for this next year, really break it down into, come up with goals that you have for yourself. Let's just say you come up with 6, and then come up with goals you have for each other, and then come up with goals you have for like something in your life that you're doing. For me, it's the podcast, or for my wife, it's building her fitness business. And then what you do is you want to pick like 3 or 4 top ones. And those top ones will be the defining ones that you are going to go after for the next year. And then at the very bottom of this big Post-it paper, you're going to sign it. And your partner's going to sign theirs. And then your job and her job for the next year, on and off every few months, will be to hold each other accountable for these goals and to remind them about the day that you came up with the goals. Because as you guys know, everybody sets goals at the end of the year. Lose weight, get a better business, get in shape, better health, stop drinking, stop smoking, stuff like that. And then I think it's less than 21 days, most people abandon those goals. So when you have an accountability partner, especially somebody who you live with, it can push you to a place that you've never been in your life, which will just be an added benefit for every other thing that you're going to be dealing with as a stepdad, and everything that you're going to be, all the problems that are going to come your way as you progress forward through your blended family journey. So if you find yourself not on the same team, if you find yourself in a position right now where you and your partner just don't agree, or you don't agree, or not agree, you don't agree, or you don't communicate, maybe you're resentful to one another, maybe you guys are fighting all the time, maybe the sex is not there as much as you want it to be. There's a lot of little tiny things that can really just throw the relationship off track. It's important that you see this value in teamwork as the driving force that will help you navigate and negotiate through the rough waters that we go through in blended families. When you're doing things as a team, guys, it brings so much more joy and so much more appreciation for what one another want to accomplish. It has been life-changing for my wife and I, this day away. And if you want to know a little bit more about how to do the day away, please feel free to contact me again. Contact at theprofessionalstepdad.com, and I'll send you kind of like a breakdown of what we do. But it's important to go in to this day with no expectations of trying to solve problems. This is going to be for everybody who's having a little bit of a hard time in their marriage, or maybe you're not married yet. Maybe you're just going through that beginning stages and you're in a relationship still. But there's no expectations of what it could or could not be. You kind of want to just go in there with an open mind. You want to go into this day, no distractions either, guys. Like when we go to this, we made it very clear to the kids, and when we first started this, we still needed a babysitter, that, hey, we are not to be bothered for this amount of time unless it's an emergency. We get into this play, we rent a hotel room, we go into the room and we shut ourselves in this room with no TV, no phones, maybe music. We like music, and we just start working. And then we take a break, go have lunch, laugh, enjoy each other's time, maybe talk through some of the stuff that we've been writing down. We go back up and we continue moving forward. And then that night, after we've gone through everything, we go to dinner and we just enjoy each other's company. And it's a reminder of why you're there in the first place. Remember, stepdads, you are there because you felt in love with your partner. Plain and simple. The kids are an added benefit. The kids and the other family members that you have to deal with are just moving parts in this game, and you and your partner are the king and queen. if we're going to refer to it like as chess, right? So I want each and every one of you to remember before you, as you're ending this year, that there is value in teamwork. There is value in what teamwork brings to the table. There is value in how others view your relationship because you're on the same team. Do not raise the kids in a house divided. Sit down, get on the same page, establish your boundaries and establish your routines and strategies and habits, and make a promise to one another that you hold each other accountable and you will communicate with one another free of any sort of judgment. It has to be there has to be a comfortable place to speak, you know? So, and for us stepdads, for us men, that means don't try to solve the problem. Sometimes just shut up and listen. It's important. So there is value. I promise you, there is value in teamwork as long as you are approaching this process the right way. And the right way is disappearing for 24 hours, sitting down, establishing, writing down, creating, developing, just putting everything on paper, all the goals, all these dreams, everything you want to do the next year. Pick your top 4, maybe 5, it's up to you, and write them out and put them somewhere in your house that you both can see it each and every morning. And remember, sign your name to it. It's important you sign your name to it, because when you sign your name to something, it's a contract. You're making a contract for yourself. So, and maybe that will give you a little bit more motivation to keep going when the hard times feel like they're overwhelming. So, all right, everyone, be safe, and I will talk to you soon. Hey, thanks for listening to the show. Listen, if you know a stepdad who is in need of any of this information, do me a favor right now. Hit that subscribe button and share this episode with them as fast as possible. Did you do it? You did it.
Quiet on the set, please. Thank you, everybody.